The owner of SuperCharged Wrestling, Mr. Boss, comes in with a huge announcement. Wrestle Crusade was just a few weeks ago. We have the recap and all the details, and a new pay-per-view event is right around the corner. Hello, and I'm your host, Ricky Sailboat, and welcome to WRESTLE News Weekly. This is actually the very first edition of WRESTLE News Weekly, so hello, welcome, join, come on through. So we just had Wrestle Crusade, the first inaugural Wrestle Crusade from SuperCharged Wrestling. It was a massive event, had tons of matches, tons of feuds, tons of action, and here is the recap breakdown for you. In the opening match, we had the Crazy Chickens versus the Invisible Boys in a tag team match, a rematch from a previous episode of SuperCharged Wrestling. It was fast-paced, fast action, with the Invisible Boys eventually getting the win, but Lulu the Crazy Chicken actually turned on her partner. What will this mean for the future of the Crazy Chickens? We'll have to find out. In the next match, we had Magic Magdalena versus Derek Dungeon, the Wizard versus the Warlock, in a match of extraterrestrial, supernatural proportions. There was back and forth action between them both here, with Magic Magdalena eventually getting the win. But what does Derek Dungeon have up his sleeve? We will have to find out. Next up, Normal Steve issued an open challenge, and the mystery opponent that happened to walk out was in fact Gunnar Jones of Extreme Backyard Fighting. Who is he? More on him a little bit later. Next up, we had the Battle of the Rappers in a 2 out of 3 falls match. Lil versus Wet Knife. Now these two former friends, now bitter rivals, saw Lil picking up 2 out of the 3 falls for the win. But after the match, he was unmasked, identity revealed by Wet Knife. And in our main event, the very first ever SCW World Championship match, we had Johnny Champion versus Karate Chop. Now this match had been building for quite some time, and it was an absolute stammer. Finisher after finisher, reversal after reversal. You have to see this match to believe it. Johnny Champion came out as the champion, winning the very first ever SCW World Championship. But as he celebrates, we heard quite a familiar sound, and Professor Fart comes out holding the EBF Championship high. More on him later as well. And there you have it, folks, a recap of Wrestle Crusade. Of course, you can watch the entire event right here on this channel, or a partner channel, Z Rice Films. We're going to put the link in the description to the full event. Wrestle News Weekly's Wrestler of the Week is Johnny Champion. He remains undefeated to this day across every promotion, has won tons of titles, and is continuing to cement his legacy as one of the greatest professional wrestlers alive to this day. Johnny Champion is WNW's Wrestler of the Week. Now, who are Gunnar Jones and Professor Fart, and why did they come over to SuperCharged Wrestling in such a surprising fashion? Well, these two happen to be from an old company called Extreme Backyard Fighting. Now, if you don't know what Extreme Backyard Fighting is, it's basically an old fighting promotion. Steel cage matches, blood, barbed wire. It was anything goes for Extreme Backyard Fighting. And Gunnar Jones and Professor Fart had a lot to do with that promotion. Professor Fart, the EBF champion still to this day, and for them to come over to SuperCharged Wrestling like that shook a lot of people here, quite frankly. But what does this all mean? Well, we have a statement from Mr. Boss himself. Let's take a look.
Hello, SuperCharged Wrestling fans. It is I, Mr. Boss, the owner of SuperCharged Wrestling, and I come here with you with an announcement. If you watched this past Wrestle Crusade, the very first ever Wrestle Crusade, you'll notice that there were some intruders. Professor Fart and Gunnar Jones made their way onto the show somehow, some way, and this all came to my attention when there are certain, let me just put it this way, there are certain individuals in this company who would like revenge, who would like a chance, who would like stardom. What am I getting at here? What am I getting at? If you do not know, these wrestlers made their way from Extreme Backyard Fighting. Extreme Backyard Fighting is an old fighting company similar to ours, where their main focus was putting on the most extreme matches possible for all of you guys right here on YouTube. If you don't know what extreme backyard fighting is, take a look at this.
Nice toss. Oh my god! Oh no! Mr. Crazy is sent into those mouse traps. Oh my god! They both go in the mouse traps. Shot to the stomach. Shot to the head. Oh my god! My god! Run away. Oh! Mr. Crazy falls off the ladder. Oh no! This is like no! No! Onto the thumbtacks. Am I? For a super what? The man? I don't know. What? I do. He's gonna beat him. Oh God! Oh my gosh!
That was the very first match this season with one month. Look!
Oh my God!
Like half as smart as you don't. Oh, that can of premium.
Oh my God! What's this? No. Oh man!
Real question.
For a second elbow. Oh my! Oh my God!
Pass out. That's what he wants to do.
Jones in the line. Hey, what's this? Oh, what is that? Oh my God!
Some sort of
Some kind of pedigree here. Then someone championships with. Oh no!
I, Mr. Boss, have now purchased Extreme Backyard Fighting. Now, what does this mean? Well, what doesn't it mean? The forbidden door has been opened. Extreme Backyard Fighting and Supercharged Wrestling are about to collide in a very, very big way. And I just want you guys to stay tuned about what is to come. And, things are about to get extreme in Supercharged Wrestling. So there you have it, folks. Mr. Boss has indeed bought Extreme Backyard Fighting, and who knows what could happen next. And in our last bit of news for the day, we have quite a bit of an announcement. The name of the next pay-per-view event from Supercharged Wrestling. The name of the next pay-per-view event happens to be straight off the desk from Mr. Boss. Battlefield will be the next pay-per-view name. It's going to be hard-hitting, full of action, tons more matches, feuds coming together, rivalries. It's going to be everything that Wrestle Crusade was and more. And again, if you want to see Wrestle Crusade, link is in the description. Well, that's about sums us up. My name is Ricky Sailboat, and I wish you a very happy holidays. I'll see you next week.